Hi, Lori. I appreciated your video and was quite intrigued about your discussion with your evidence-based research and the work that you've been doing through the TEKS resource system. And I'm curious if this is the same TEKS resource system that many smaller schools use. I know that in Boyd ISD, that's one that we use. And you mentioned that you're in a focus group where y'all are working to kind of revamp some things. And I was curious if you know when that's going to be rolled out, because at our campus, that's something that we are looking at as a district if there's some other options out there, because some of our teachers have felt kind of like the way you've mentioned, there's not enough time to get through certain things, and so you're needing more time. And then with the TEKS changing, what will that look like for our year at a glance? And so I was just curious for some more feedback on that that I could share with my district and our curriculum coordinators. I don't currently use TEKS resource system because I work in the dyslexia classroom, but I work with all of the reading teachers in the elementary and middle school or intermediate school. And so that's been a very big discussion this year as we're looking also to do a new textbook adoption. You mentioned goal 2 when you mentioned the quote that was on page 47 about students, those especially in poverty, feeling disempowered, and you talked about the relationships. And it really, I think you're right, it comes down to building that relationship with students, making sure that their needs are being met, just like we know the hierarchy of needs. If our students come to school hungry or tired or dirty, they need to have those needs met before they're ready to learn and to be successful as learners in our school. You also talked about professional development and mentioned vertical alignment. And I'm curious what that looks like in your district. I know you said that you have it, but you wish you had more. We are very limited in the vertical alignment that happens on our campus or in our district. It used to be pretty involved, but now it's just very limited even on campuses, let alone from campus to campus. So I'm curious what that looks like when you do have your meetings for vertical alignment. And I know that you mentioned for reading, it seems to be pretty good, except for when y'all are looking at writing, which I know is also a concern in our district because our fourth graders or our fourth grade teachers feel like the students are not prepared when they come to fourth grade in order to write for the STAR. And when we go back and look at all of the TEKS, the teachers I know in third grade are covering all of those TEKS. It just may not be to the extent or depth that our fourth grade teachers would either like or need. And we all know it all starts long before they come to us at school as far as their abilities to write and to conform or to form sentences. And so it's not just the third grade teachers that we're looking at. You also mentioned professional development as far as its meaningfulness. And one of the things that's happening on our campus right now, we have a professional development day coming up in a couple of weeks. And one of the things that my principal did that I really appreciated was she called in the profession or the leaders on our campus. There's a few of us that she pulls together every week. And she just wanted to talk about some things that were happening in our district and get some feedback from what our teachers were saying they wanted for professional development, and went through the schedule. So it's not really her dictating everything, but that it's her getting feedback from our campus and then getting together to look at some ideas and evaluate that and review it and put it together. And so I'm hoping that that's something we can continue. She also is started to ask on our leadership team for us to ask any of our stakeholders. It could be a school board member, a parent, a teacher, a student, any staff member at our campus, a community member, for 2 positives and 2 improvements that our campus is doing each week. And so we're submitting those to her and then reflecting on those when we come together each week. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about your TEKS resource system work, and then also about your vertical alignment. And thanks so much for sharing.